Brutus Magna here. I have an online battle where I'm playing the West Roman Empire and my opponent is playing the Picts. We're playing in the Battle of Woodland and it'll be in winter conditions. I'm bringing a Magister Militant as my general. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Armagiri Defensores, 4 Sagittarii, 2 Ballistarii, 6 by the Scholae Palantina. I've got a Contrarii and a Scholae Gentilis, which actually was a mistake. It should have been a Cataphractare. My opponent is bringing a followers of Morrigan general, 2 Celtic spears, 3 of the black blades, and 6, is it? Yeah. Pictish axemen, 3 Celtic bows, and 4 by Mormaya cavalry. There are some upgrades. So my Scholae here, you can see Scholae Palatina are upgraded to have 1 gold on them. There are some upgrades over here on the enemy on the black blades that are 3 bronze, and he did choose to deploy guerrilla style. You can see here the Mormaya cavalry have been deployed behind my units, which were visible to me up front. Actually, when we were playing this game, there was not as much snow on the ground as shown here, so there's a little difference with the replay than what's here. But I think the outcome is exactly the same. So I decided to put my Armagiri Defensores into an attacking testudo and essentially leave them there in quite a long line, while knowing that these guys were here, trying to sort of position myself so that perhaps I could intercept them. I certainly have quite a lot of, I've got my Ballistarii that I was going to essentially lose to fire that way. My opponent decided to come in this way and to attack my flanks over there. I have moved my my Scholae Palatina to really hit this infantry line, because they're open to infantry hitting them on the side. He had charged in through the centre and he's trying to set up a kind of defensive line formation there. Okay, so one of the interesting things I found with the Picts is look at the morale on these guys. 112 morale on the Pictish axemen. Pict blades, 115 morale on the Pict blades. So these guys are really going to fight. Here I can see there's a chance for me to charge in on the side and to get some outflanking procedures there. My opponent has successfully outflanked my Armagiri defences over there. I was sort of managing over here and didn't see that happening so quickly. And I have left my shock cavalry here sort of to take into the end game a bit. So the attacks coming down over here has lost a lot of pickmen up to the charge of my cavalry. And the morale's kind of gone down a bit for them there. But over here on the other flank of my army, you can see I've lost a lot of Armagiri Defensors. That was a very good charge put into the back. He didn't lose any Mormaya cavalry. But I managed to get a rear charge then on the Mormaya cavalry, and I think the Scholae Palatini is a kind of an equal match, a little bit better maybe than the Mormaya cavalry, but with the gold chevron there, it should come up quite fair. He's moved in another Mormaya cavalry to back up, and another one down here. And one in, the enemy has successfully, my opponent successfully got into my skirmish groups. You can see over here I have moved around my, I haven't yet, but I will move around my Contrarii and my other shock cavalry to you can see they're on the move now, to try to damage a lot of this infantry over here. My Scholae Palatina are holding up quite well. This one's about to die, but it's still, I think it's done a lot of damage. He's got his black blades in there. He's got his Pictish axemen now coming up against half a unit of Scholae Palatini. Let's see what it does. These Pictish axemen, I should say, actually have, they're losing quite a bit to the Scholae Palatini on that particular engagement. My Armagiri defences here at the beginning, in the middle, are falling down. I think they're receiving quite a bit of friendly fire as well. That's probably damaging them. I managed to get into some of his skirmishes while he intercepted with the Celtic spearmen, but nevertheless there's an engagement taking on here. Over here there's his Mormaya cavalry have kind of broken and given up, and same thing you see in the centre. He's got another here. He's left his general over here. He's kind of hidden it behind the hill, which you'll see he brings out later on. And I've still got quite a bit of skirmish units. I had quite a lot of skirmishes to start off with. One thing I didn't do very well is I didn't manage my shot cavalry, so they're just getting attacked, and I do sort of move them out, but then I just sort of get attacked again. I wasn't using them very well at all. So there's a lot of things happening. I lose my general here quite soon. And you can see I've sort of won the engagement on this side, and now I've got a chance to bring in my cavalry and sort of help clean up his remaining skirmish units.
Black tidings. Our general is dead.
So I lose my general at this point. Luckily it didn't cause a chain rout anywhere. I'm using my Scoli Gentiles now to do a charge onto these Pictish axemen, and it's doing some considerable damage over there onto that lot. So, you know, once or twice I did manage to get some good use from them. Armageri Defensor is holding up here. In the middle here, he's managed to get his Pictish axemen and his swordmen, these black blades, into my group, getting a little bit of a rear charge there. I've got a good unit of Armageri Defensors now, and really coming across here through his skirmish units, and with what I had remaining from that flank, which was quite good. There's some Scholar Palatini up against some Mormaya cavalry here, which is essentially winning. Mormaya cavalry doesn't seem to have as good morale as, I mean, these Pictish axemen, you know, 86 morale, these guys 101 morale, black blades. The morale has lost a bit. I think they've been attacked, shot in the rear. I think I had set to heavy shot perhaps on some of these guys. The black blades, they're 5 units, 2 units, and then they flee. He's got a full unit of black blades over here still, pretty much close to full. He's put up a defensive line of Celtic spearmen. They're in a formation. What formation is that? I can't seem to. I don't know what it's called, but they're obviously in a brace kind of position. I've moved my cavalry around. I move them up and around. Obviously, if they're not going to attack full on in the brace position, but I do attack with my Armageri Defensors. My Armageri Defensores are sort of dying here. Look at this Pictish axeman. There's 17 left, morale of 27. Here we've got 126 morale on this black blades. It's a silver chevron, but it's being attacked in the rear now by those Scoli Palatini. Can I see it? And it's dying pretty fast. The morale is coming down, but it's still staying pretty high. This brace Celtic spearmen are kind of losing to the charge, I guess, of the Armageri Defensores. Over here, I'm trying to protect my, trying to move my skirmish units away. I was micromanaging them, so he's chasing after them with the Pictish axemen coming down this way. And he's also decided to bring his general in now to the fight. He's got a few axemen, 7 axemen over here, 54 morale, 10 axemen, 55 morale. But I'm getting a charge in with my Armageri Defensors. Let's see how it goes. 6-5. It's going to obviously clean up the remaining Pictish axemen. Is it? Is it? They're not dying. Why aren't they dying? 5. They're not dying at all. I've got a full unit, and now 4, 3. Okay, they're sort of dying slowly. It's taking a while, and at the same time, he's really getting in and he's killing off the last of my missile units over there. So he's done some good work there. I did get the Scoli Palatini in there. And I think it did do some damage to some of his units, but I had to bring that out, and I sort of decided to clean up on this side, make sure that these black blades were taken down effectively. I'm doing multiple charges with my Scoli Palatini, and that managed to break the Celtic spearmen. He's got a few Pictish axemen, 2 Pictish axemen left, and it's shaken. It's okay. Armageri Defensor is there, but those units aren't going to last, and I've got still 120 Armageri Defensors over here up against 1 Pictish axeman that's standing there with a morale of 26, which, 1 still there. It's a pretty strong unit, it seems. But then the 120, now he got a charge in with his followers of Morrigan, I think, and 118 it was attacked in the rear as well. I think. The Scholar Palatini now I'm bringing around for reverse charge. I've cleaned up the 7 black blades left here. They are now wavering, and I'm moving around. Obviously now I'm going to get some reverse charges with my cavalry and on what remains of the enemy there. After I've managed to 6 black blades, now it's wavering. 4, 3, is it going to die and go away? 2, 1, and finally it goes away. So those guys will really fight to the last man. Here the followers of Morrigan don't have as much morale as the other units, and getting these charges in reverse charges really is the end of the followers of Morrigan. So that was a very fun fight there. I think it was a good game for both players. It was remarked at the end of, so let's end the replay. So you can see the outset. So some pretty good kills here on the Armagiri Defensores. 282 kills, I think, and still a full unit there. So that one stood up pretty well. That was the one I guess we saw at the end. It must have got a lot of kills throughout. And then my Scholar Palatini, I didn't do as well with my missile groups. I didn't micromanage them properly. They weren't set on skirmish. I probably should have done that if I was going to forget about them. Ballistari, I didn't do too well, and as well I didn't do too well with my shock cavalry. I could have done better there. Did get some really good kills, obviously, with this Scholar Palatina. So on the other side, we've got so see, these are the black blades. 142 kills on this black blade. It's pretty good value. The Pictish Axeman's probably better value at 161 kills. It was very good. Not too much from the Celtic bows. So the Celtic bows really, you can see 125 kills. Didn't seem to probably weren't worth the value. Obviously, they didn't get much. 110 on the Mormaya cavalry, 135, 168. So they sort of seemed worthwhile. The Celtic bows looked kind of questionable, but the rest of it seemed okay. So that's sort of how it ended up. It was a little bit outnumbered, but it's kind of even, I guess. And that was that battle.